Hey everyone, Dennis K here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hope you guys are doing well today. Hey, listen, I got these three questions here from a client who is interested in investing in property on Ambergris Caye or in Belize in general. And he asked me these three questions. He hasn't been to the island yet, but I know many of you are also doing your research, doing your homework, looking at different properties. And I've spoken extensively on each of these questions in other videos, but I realize sometimes the videos can be, down the list of ways. Maybe I put them out 6 months ago, or a year, or maybe even 2 or 3 years ago. So for those of you who are new to investing in Belize real estate and you just want a very quick, concise answer to each of these three, here's a video for you. All right. So number one, available seller financing options. How much of a down payment is usually required? All right, so in Belize, we do have just a few banks that loan when you go to purchase property. One of those is Key Bank, spelled Caye. They're an international bank right on Ambergris Caye. They would typically loan on properties with a 50% loan to value ratio. So if you're buying a $400,000 home, they usually require $200,000 down. Interest rates vary, but they're usually between 10.5% and 12%, so much higher than what we're used to paying in North America. And the terms or the length of the loan tends to be a lot shorter, right? So you don't go 20, 30 years like you would normally have in North America. What you can often do, though, is find someone who is willing to sell or finance this property, his or her property. So, for example, if you're looking at vacant land, Arwin is the gentleman who wrote these three questions to me. Arwin, if you're looking for vacant land, you can normally find vacant land financing with 10 to 15% down payment, 10% interest for up to 10, 20 years. That's common on vacant land. Usually, if you buy vacant land and you want to build on that land, you have to come up with the cash to have your home built. So because of that, some people start off with a simple home, maybe a so-called starter casita, just a crash pad, to something to use for a few years until you get ready to build your main home. Sometimes people do that because they have money tied up in their primary residence in the States or in Canada, and they want to get their property in Belize, at least to get a foothold on the island, then over time develop it, and knowing that at some point they're probably going to sell their main residence or cash it in on some stocks, or be able to tap into other funds to build a primary home in Belize. So if you want to know more about seller financing or bank financing in Belize, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those questions in more detail for you. A lot depends too on what property you're looking at. Number two, availability of a branded condo hotels under 350K. All right, so there's only a few branded resorts in Belize. One is the Alaya property. Another one is the Mahogany Bay Village property. So both of those, you might be able to get something for around that, maybe a little bit more, say 350 to 450. It depends on what you're looking for as far as personal use. Some come with a limited amount of personal use, especially if you want to have it in a rental pool. So just kind of got to look at that and see what you're going for. We can talk more about that when you come down and actually see the branded hotels to see what they have available, if anything, and then what might work for you and your needs. And then thirdly, property management fees for overseas investors. All right, so that's a really long answer, and I've dove into that in more detail in my other videos. But property management fees can vary between 20% of the gross all the way up to 40%. So they will take for example, if you're renting by the night and you're collecting $100 a night, they will either take $20 or $40, just depending on what they do, what sort of level of service they provide. Are they handling all the check-in, check-outs, paperwork? Are they doing the advertising, the bookings, handling the customer relations on island? Or are they just simply, providing some housekeeping services and some turns and things like that? So some of these companies are built into the resorts. For example, a lot of the major resorts have their own internal property management company. So anybody who buys condos or properties in that resort usually has to go through them. Some are one-offs. So, for example, if you have a single family home in an area such as Spanish Reef subdivision, you can hire a property management company to look after that home for you. And for that, they will charge their own fee. Again, that fee depends on how much they're doing for you, but usually between 20 and 40%. All right. So listen, if you have any other comments, questions, concerns, anything you want to ask me that you want me to make a little video on, go ahead and shoot me those via email. And if I think it's good for all of my viewers to get the answers to those questions, if I think it's useful, I'll create a little video like this and send it out. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching today. All the best in your journey, wherever you might be in the world, and certainly in your plans for Belize. Hope to see you soon.